Oh hey, do you like English? Do you hate working with Objective-C? Do you want to work in a programming language that's fast, reliable, and awesome? In other words, has this ever happened to you?
Objective-C, objectively crap. Oh, I forgot a semicolon, and the whole program shuts down. How intuitive. It's the clunkiest code I've ever worked in. Okay, that should work.
If this sounds like you, then it's time to ditch Objective-C and move to the newest and best programming language released by Apple. A programming language where you feel 22 while coding in 2022. That's right, I'm talking about Swift.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
Swift, the programming language, not the singer. Yeah, I don't even know how you program a singer. Alright, that's besides the point. It's time to talk about Swift now. And get Swifty. Now, we're going to be doing a lot of comparing and contrasting between the old programming language that was used by Apple before, Objective-C, which is used by Apple to write different operating systems due to its rich frameworks and strong GUI support. It's not GUI, it's GUI. Sorry. While it did the job in the early days, like that old car of yours where they used to drive to uni, it got way too clunky compared to other programming languages, to the point that the barrier to entry to become an iOS developer was way too high. Why deal with clunky syntax and low-level design that takes a while to debug and has millions of potential security problems just so you can create Fruit Ninja on the iOS? Just do it on Android. Much easier. Why go through all the pain? This is why, in 2014, Apple decided to come up with Swift, a successor to Objective-C. The four main components of a language that we're going to talk about with Swift are the following: Objective-C interpolarity, ease of learning, safety design, and speed. We will also touch upon some weaknesses the language has as well at the end. While Swift was released to accommodate the newest programmers to join in on Apple since they have the newest programming features, you still don't want to forget about the older, experienced programmers within Apple or within iOS apps who mainly use Objective-C, who are not only used to the syntax, but also used to the different design features of Objective-C. This is where Swift comes in, because Apple recognizes that you gotta take care of your older programmers while welcoming in the new, which is why they have Objective-C interpolarity. What this means is that your Objective-C code will work on the Swift compiler so that you can program in Objective-C and continue working in the Swift paradigm. All these moves make the switch from Objective-C to Swift swiftly done. Swift has an easy-to-read English-like syntax, which includes the following as well: inferred data types that make the code cleaner, and no semicolons. Wow! It requires less lines of code to do the same tasks, which means there are also less bugs to debug. It's so concise that when Lyft switched their codebase from Objective-C to Swift, the lines of code went from 78,000 all the way down to 22,000, which is crazy, because 22,000 is also how much I made at Boston Market as a cashier. Now, to compare the two languages, just look at their Hello World programs, and it's night and day difference. To focus in more on Swift, it's simply print Hello World, which is easy. But then you look at Objective-C, and you just see a disgusting act in front of you. It's not as easy as Python in my opinion, but it's still very legible and easy to learn, since the syntax resembles English, almost pseudocode-like. You do have to define if variables are mutable or immutable, and the syntax does contain brackets when defining different things like classes and loops, which makes Python people run away, but it takes a little convincing to get them swiftly coding in Swift.
So bro,
What's up, man?
you know Swift?
Yeah,
A little bit, but I'm personally into Python.
Dude, Python's trash. What are you talking about? It's way too slow. Swift is where it's at.
I'm not so sure I like Python syntax.
No, you don't. You like Swift syntax. I'll show you. It's just as easy to understand as English. So you gotta check this out over here. It makes it very, very easy to program. So I'm gonna start like defining a couple of variables.
Are those brackets?
Dude, it's not that bad. I promise you. Brackets are not that bad. Dude, Python has like dictionary brackets. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I promise. Oof. All right. Now check out like how cool this is.
I have to define variables and constants?
Bro, I promise you, it's not that bad. I promise not that bad. Like, come on, it's easy. It's easy. Don't worry about it.
I'm not so sure about this Swift thing. I mean, the syntax seems pretty complex.
Bro, I got you. No semicolons.
No semicolons?
Now, to get the point across of how important safety design is in a programming language, we're over here live in an abandoned house, which is, you might say, pretty unsafe, but it's about as unsafe as it is programming in Objective-C. The reason why it's unsafe to program in Objective-C is that there's a lot of low-level stuff that you have to deal with as a programmer. Some of this low-level stuff including pointers and allocating your own memory. While some have their pros, but massive cons is that they create a lot of vulnerability issues within the code, and they take a while to debug as well. And I'm mainly looking at you, memory leaks. You're bad. Which is why in Swift, safety is at the top of the list, as the first move to make the program more safe is to eliminate pointers. This elimination of pointers makes so that there's less vulnerabilities in the code, while at the same time making it easier to debug. But that's not all. Now, to talk about Swift's safety features, we decided to move to a nicer place because, in all honesty, to talk about Swift's amazing safety design, it deserves more respect than that abandoned home. But to get back on topic, Swift also has the following safety features alongside it: variable initialization before use,
I need about 350.
array and integer checking for overflow errors, automatic memory management, garbage collection for your garbage code, and the list goes on. These changes make programming in Swift easier and safer, as you have less damaging bugs to deal with, and you'll debug quite swiftly. Next up, we need to talk about the need for speed, as applications on iOS need to have the fastest speeds, and Swift does a great job of that, as Swift is 2.6 times faster than Objective-C. So Objective-C is still taking L's till this day. But it gets even better than that, because despite writing like a scripted language, Swift is almost 16 times faster than most scripted languages.
16 times the detail.
But it gets even deeper than that, because in most cases, Swift is faster than Java, which is used for Android applications. And even in some settings, Swift is faster than C++, one of, if not the fastest programming languages out there, which is a testament to just how fast Swift truly is.
I'm trying to make a video.
Now, we'll be doing a comparison test with 3 different programming languages for speed. First, here's Python.
One eternity later.
Out of stamina, out of programming brain processing juice. Now, here's Java. And now, here's Swift. This is what Swift programming is all about. I think we have a clear winner over here, and the winner runs as swiftly as a hummingbird. With a language that's easy to learn and program in, one of the fastest and one of the safest, you wonder if there are any weaknesses to Swift. But even Superman has his kryptonite. Swift's main weaknesses come from 2 factors: its newness and market limitations. The new weakness is going away with time, but since it's new, it came with less support for libraries than Objective-C, and the price to switch from Objective-C to Swift can be costly. What isn't eroding with time, however, is the market weakness. Since Microsoft and Android cover over 70% of the computer and phone market, this leaves Apple with the rest, which is still a sizable market, but it is much less than other markets that use languages like C#, Kotlin, or Java. This makes it hard to find a job as a Swift developer, since most jobs are based on Android or Microsoft applications. Yes, I want to thank you again for taking the time to interview with me. I know I'm a very skilled programmer. I mainly work in Swift, because Swift is all about the speed, the reliability, the ease of access, and all that. And I really think that we could go big once I'm programming with Swift.
Okay, well, this is a position for Microsoft.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know, but Swift is like a future, and honestly, like Microsoft, let's be honest, it's a little bit trash, right? Like the operating system is not good. C#, what is that? Like sharp objects, we don't work with that. Like you gotta switch over to a fast, reliable Swift. Swift, like I don't know about you, but I'm always feeling 22 Swift,
Security?
While the weaknesses do exist, there's no doubt that Swift is one of the best designed programming languages out there. It maximizes speed, it maximizes safety, and maximizes ease of learning. It's an amazing programming language to create iOS apps, and you should definitely take it up someday if you want to. And at this point, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch my project. I'm very appreciative of you all, and I hope you start programming in Swift and create a competitor to TikTok, because man, that app needs to be taken down. What are you doing here? It's done. The filming is done.
What are you doing wearing a bathrobe and there's no shower in there? What are you...
We took out a laptop out of a stove. You're gonna start questioning decisions now?
Yeah, I'm gonna start questioning you because you haven't paid me. You're supposed to pay me.
I paid you through exposure. Is that not enough?
What?
Yeah, I paid you through exposure, dude. You're gonna be rich now.
Exposing yourself? Come on.
Dude, all right, how much do you want?
Fucking hate Objective-C. Objectively shit. I forgot the rest.